So at this point, I have my GitHub repo. I clone the repo, create a file, Python file template we're going to use to practice, review some of these specific operations or learn about these operations when we are working with lists. All right. Let me start with accessing items. And let's go with the same list that we defined before as an example. Right? To access a specific item, before I just printed the whole list. If I want to access a specific item, I'll use print command here just to get the output. I can just refer to the index of that item. And in Python, indexing starts from 0. So if I want to get the first item in the list, I put 0 there. And if I run just these two lines, remember I highlight these lines and I press Shift Enter on my computer. I have a Windows computer, so Shift Enter might be a little different on your computer if you're using Mac. The way to learn what the shortcut is, the easiest way would be select those lines, right click. You might not see my right click on this video recording, but if you right click and go all the way down, at the bottom you will see an option run Python, and then there is a option run selection line in Python terminal, and it should give you the shortcut that you can use to run those lines without actually right clicking and choosing that option. Alright, so my list 0 gave me the first item, and of course depending on where I want, which specific item I want in the list. Let's say I want the third item, so that would be 2. If I Shift Enter, then I get 30. Now, as I said, a list can also contain other lists. Right? If I define a nested list, as we call, something like this, right? I have, and a nested list can also include other numbers. You can have 1, 2, and then suddenly a list as an item, and another list as an item, and maybe another list. Right? So it's kind of could be a mix of items and lists within a list. And you can have actually a list within a list within a list, and this just goes on and on. But if I want to access a specific item in a nested list, the procedure is almost the same. The only difference is that the first index refers to the first number you put there refers to the index of the item. So let's say I want to get the first item in this list. So this list is the third item. That means I put 2. And then the first item in this nested list, 1, if I want to get that, then I'll put 0 there. If I didn't make any mistake there, Shift Enter, and you will see I get 1. Which basically I'm saying I want you to pick the third item, and in the third item, I want the first item. Alright, and the same story. I can go to the third item, which would be this list, and get the second item within that list, right, which would be 5. Alright, hopefully that makes sense. So that's how you define or access items in a list. Now let's see how can we modify items in a list. That's also pretty straightforward. I have a list here. Let's say I have my list, right, with 3 simple items, 1, 2, 3. And let's say I want to replace the second item, which is 2, with 10, right? So I'll say my list, access the second item, which is 1. Remember, we start counting from 0. And then replace or put 10 there. Now if I print my list, then, or maybe I add another print here, so we can actually see before and after. And if I run this, Shift Enter, let's see my list is 1, 2, 3, and I replace the number 2 with 10. Now my list is 1, 10, 3. All right. So accessing items, modifying items in a list.